Hello do-it-yourselfers. Today we are painting a newly installed window casing. On any newly installed trim work that is to be painted, there is going to be nail holes to fill, probably a few nails to be set, and some cracks to caulk. If we don't want to carry a hammer around, this is a nifty tool, a spring-loaded nail punch. This is the exact set I purchased, and it comes with one nail punch with one fine side and one fatter side. It also comes with a much bigger one that is good for popping the pin out of hinges. Generally, with any nail punch, you want the tip of it to be a little bigger than the nail head, or it will slip off like you can see on the bottom left nail here. Once all the nails are set, it is time to spackle. On a rounded surface like these window casings, just using your finger is easier and faster. On a flat surface, a putty knife would be preferred. We are using this product today, an interior-exterior spackling compound. Different brands of spackle do seem to be pretty comparable in my experience. Next up is caulking. Different caulks are typically fine. Just read the label and make sure what you're using it for is in the description. On top of that, make sure you are using a water cleanup product. Caulks that require mineral spirits or something similar to clean up are much more difficult to use, typically would only be used outside or at least somewhere that isn't purely cosmetic like what we are doing today. Also, when caulking, cut an appropriate sized hole in your tube at a 45-degree angle. When applying the caulk, you want a steady trigger squeeze partnered with a steady pace. The bead doesn't look too bad, but please use your finger to smooth it out. Once the paint goes on, the caulking should not be noticeable. Having a water rag handy to keep your finger damp will help the caulk bead smooth out the best. It is also nice to have something besides your clothes to wipe the excess off. The last step of prep before getting a paintbrush out is sanding. A light sand over the whole casing is a good idea to remove any burrs and especially to smooth out any excess spackle that is on the face of the casing. Give the casing a quick wipe down after this to remove the dust so our finished painted surface will be smooth. Emerald urethane trim enamel is the product of choice today. The cure time is a little long, but it is very durable and dries pretty smooth. I would recommend using a nylock brush when painting trim by hand. The XL medium stiff brush is a fine runner-up. Unfortunately, I'm not using either of the recommended brushes at the moment. I wish I was better at teaching by example, but for now I get an F in that category. After dipping your paintbrush, tap it on the sides of your paint pot. This will help prevent the paint dripping all over the floor. When cutting in next to a surface that we don't want paint on, it is important to have an appropriate amount of paint on your brush and to angle your brush away from that surface, and do your best to have a steady hand. The extension jamb is raw, so that is going to need an additional coat compared to the pre-primed casing. Also, when priming bare wood, the grain is raised, making it feel rough to the touch. After the first coat is dry, it is important to give the wood that was raw a sand, so everything looks smooth and is smooth to the touch. Now we are on to painting the final coat. For best coverage, we want to apply an even layer of paint using the brush gently. We want the bristles to delicately apply the paint to the casing. If there is a lot of flex in the bristles, then too much pressure is being used. Good brush technique is always smooth, straight, and gentle strokes. We also want to paint in the direction of the wood, so when we get to joints, we should work the brush so no brush strokes are going perpendicular to the natural grain or direction of the trim work. Finish each section with a long, smooth, straight brush stroke that tapers off so the end product is as smooth as possible. And don't forget, there is always an opportunity to level up your house.